you said you were going to make the omelet for us today that you have on your menu. And I was fascinated that you would put an omelet on your menu. Will you tell me why?
An omelet for me is always like the true test of a cook. It's about speed, accuracy, technique, and also heat control, and the way that you can really control all the elements at the same time to make something really, really special out of a very humble ingredient. This is just 3 eggs and an extra yolk. So that's how we're going to make an omelet, with a little bit of Parmesan, butter, and that's really it.
Perfect. Can't wait to see it.
All right, so we have just a little knob of unsalted butter, and we preheated our nonstick pan. We're going to take it all the way up to high now. We're just going to kind of let that butter melt. You'll notice that as it melts, you're going to get some moisture that kind of bubbles away, which is what you see kind of dancing. That's any sort of water evaporating out of the butter. And we'll store that for later. So now we're ready to add eggs. I like to scramble them a day in advance.
Really? Why?
And let them rest. It produces a softer curd in the way that the eggs don't become as dense and tight. So now we just add them to our nonstick pan that again has the butter. And we just start to stir with both hands. So I'm pulling with my right hand because I'm left-handed, and I'm stirring with my left. And as you can see, I can lift the pan off the heat to control my timing and my coagulation rate. So we're really going for just kind of a quick thing. This might not be the most exciting thing to do for a family of 10 in the morning, because it might take a little while, unless people are sharing. But when we're set up and rocking and rolling, these take about 45 seconds from start to finish.
And you don't add cheese?
We will to garnish, like on top for flavor and also for texture. You can add fillings, and we can go over when to do that. We don't. We just like the traditional kind of simplicity of just eggs with a little bit of parm and coarse salt. Now we have done some fancier versions. At brunch, we've done them with duck confit and Swiss on the inside. When truffles are good and in season, we've done winter truffles or summer truffles over top. And even we've done uni butter, which is like sea urchin. And we've done just kind of a bunch of different things to kind of make it feature the eggs, but also the technique.
But apparently this is like no omelet most people have ever had, right?
It's just a lot softer, and there's going to be no color on the outside.
Oh.
In the way that like a great diner omelet is going to have like a nice caramel brown,
right?
And you're going to be able to see kind of the texture on the outside. This should be nice and smooth and creamy. So you can see all the eggs are starting to come together. And I can control kind of how I'm doing this by how much I stir. Obviously, the more air I incorporate is going to kind of help it cool down faster. So then I'm just going to let this rest for about 10 seconds, and then it'll go back on the pan to release. If I were to have garnishes, now would be a great time to add spinach and ham and all that jazz, or I don't know, Florentine or what have you. And so basically we're just letting this come together. Now you can see that it's really soft, right? Like it kind of looks a little runny, which is a good thing. It's still maintaining heat, so it's still cooking. So right now, we're just going to pop it back on the stove and give it 10 seconds. So in a real life situation, you're getting your hash browns ready, you're finishing up your coffee, or maybe just taking a sip of your coffee.
Or enjoying some of the chicken flavored potato chips in the restaurant.
The chicken flavored potato chips are always to be enjoyed. So we are at 10 now. So this is where the threefold comes in. So we're going to, scrape it down in the pan. And I'm going to add just a little bit more butter, which is going to help it stick. Come off from sticking. And so there it is in the plate. So now we're just going to flip it, make it a little bit more camera ready. So just the back of a spoon with a little bit of butter. And so you can see it's very, very smooth. It's very, very soft. And there's absolutely no color. It is kind of like smile shaped, and then just a little bit of parm on top. And we like to finish things with just a little bit of coarse salt, which is like salt that's just bigger with texture. And so that's how you make a classic French omelet.
Waxlight style. Beautiful, thank you.
Enjoy.